I was hoping to make this in one video, and it looks like that's not going to be possible. OBS? Fuck you. I should be able to maintain my bitrate. I'll upload both videos, one right after the other, but, like, this is retarded. I'll have to create my own little playlist. I'll have to put both videos up. Absolutely stupid fucking shit. Pisses me off. Okay. You're joining me from the last video. We're going to go right back into what we were talking about. So that covers the logic gate, how the factory's wired up. Now, I need to, before we continue, I need to remind everybody that both the factory and this logic gate progression were created by two different individuals. Links will be in the description. And links to their videos. Okay. The factory itself is from one guy, and then this logic gate mutually exclusion rule is from a completely different setup. But I found it to be useful, so we're incorporating it. That, and I like the idea of using logic gates. Okay, so once again, both switches are on, both outputs get turned off, because because the logic gate setup says only one switch can be on for either line to be on. Now, if I turn off the ammo plant, the purge line will activate and the ammo plant will shut off. So, the logic gate basically says only one of these can be on in order for one of the assembly lines to be running. If both switches get flipped, both plants shut down. Okay. Now we're going to turn off both. And I'm going to turn off the conveyor. And we're going to shut down the main grid. So this was just for demonstration purposes. Now let's get into the tutorial. Absolutely stupid. Okay. Before we do the tutorial, I'm going to walk you through how the plant actually works. Okay. So the power comes in from your normal telephone poles into the house using the conduit thing. This light tells me we actually have power coming in from the plant, from the city power. Power is coming out of this conduit, going to that conduit, that conduit, that conduit into the control room. However, I want this door to work regardless whether the plant is on or not. So emergency power, floodlights and stuff. So that line is coming over here, which is then powering this switch, which is then linked to the main door. Right there. Which then allows me to open and close the service bay. And the reason why that is this is the beginning of the production line. I said this is the beginning of the production line. Hate my life. I am trying to do a demonstration of the factory before we get into the build, and the build is broken. Of course it is. Because David can't make something to operate to save his life. Okay. Now, stop breaking my wonderful build. It's already broken, David. Yeah, I know. Give me a second. Okay. This is what happens when you do shit live. Is the conveyor belt's at least lined up? Okay, good. I don't have to rebuild that. Okay. We get to the tutorial. We're working on it. Okay. How's OBS? 86 or 50, 3800 bit rates. Okay. You come in here, you dump all your junk in the storage bin. Okay? You will notice that the factory is currently working. Ignore that just for a second, because I need to go in there and throw some switches. So, what happens here is you put all your junk in this storage right here. Then we have a vacuum hopper to take items out of that storage and send it through the sorting line. You have the vacuum hopper. Then we have you have this conveyor belt into a left-hand turn conveyor lift, which then goes upstairs. You can tell I spent all day yesterday tearing out this factory, trying to find out where the problem was for the current rages that I had in question. Okay. The components are brought up here. Then we have the oil. We have lead, copper, OSHA violation, fertilizer, steel, and plastic. Each one of them goes into a hopper on the back side. Those are the 6 sorters, those are the 6 hoppers. This is for overflow. This is the overflow. Anything that isn't sorted, any junk that doesn't have those components in it, will go into this hopper and then go into that storage, which you can then put back in your settlement workbench. Okay. And all the hoppers are closed because that's what the logic gates are for, that I will show you soon. Okay. Then, all of the hoppers have a conveyor belt underneath them. These conveyor belts are controlled by the ammo plant. And then there's the overflow. This hopper's open because I want all the overflow to go into this conveyor belt, and there's nothing to be mutually exclusioned out, because if the conveyor belt's online, these two are on because the sorting system is on. So there's no point to not have these running when the sorting system is on. Then we come around this corner. We have a diverter so that you can make bobbleheads, because we have steel here. You can make stuff with the builder if you want to. And then the main objective is the ammo plant. Then here's the purge line. Purge line's off because the ammo plant is on, which then brings the items all the way back to the original starting position, which is that storage. I need to go grab the laser tripwire What do I need for that again? The one thing I don't have on me. Don't I need like a fusion core or something? You can use the high-speed lifts, but I'm using this. Okay, yeah, I need a fusion. Yeah, I need 2 fusion cells. Okay. We'll go get those later. Eventually, there's supposed to be a laser trip wire here, which is linked to this wire right here, which allows me to keep track of how many boxes of ammunition pass through, how many ammo boxes are produced by the ammunition, and all the ammunition is stored here. Okay. So, main power comes in here, into this conduit, into this master switch. Master switch is going into a conduit, which is going up into another wall, which is disconnected from the main grid. That light tells me we have power coming in from outside, which then brings us to the brains of the operation. Okay. Main power is here. Follow the line. There's the main breaker. For this panel, anyway. Then we have the sorter. We have the ammo plant. We have the purge line. We have the AND gate, just like before. And this is for the diverter. That's right out there. So you can build stuff with the builder instead of the ammo plant. You can also use weapon forge, armor forge, whatever. I'm using a builder because you can build lunch boxes. And that's what the other guy was doing too. So flip this switch, it activates the diverter, and you can send stuff to the builder. Okay. There's the command center for the ammo counter for the laser tripwire that we don't have hooked up yet. Okay. So we're going to go through this briefly because I just went over this. Main power, sorter, ammo, and purge. This is the ammo line on this side, and then the purge line's on this side. Again, I've already gone through the logic gates. Only one switch is on. Only the ammo switch is on. Therefore, only the ammo plant is running, and everything else is off. Yep. Now, the output for the ammo plant's going here. Then it's going up here. These pegs in the walls are linked to the electrical lines going throughout the factory to all the various points in the factory. Now, what this line over here says, right here, says, whatever we're about to power, I only want it to work to have power when the ammo plant is running. Therefore, the hoppers for releasing the ingredients that are going to the ammo plant. The ammo plant says the ammo plant can only run when the hoppers are on, when the sorting system is on, and both the sorter system, conveyor belt, and the ammo plant need to run before power can pass over here and power this breaker system. Yeah. There are 6 hoppers, and there are 5 unique recipes for ammunition creation in Vanilla. We don't have 7.62, we don't have any of the laser ammos. So this is just the ballistic stuff. So, from left to right, both the pegs in the ceiling and the switches on the bottom is oil, lead, copper, fertilizer, steel, and plastic. OLCFSP. You can see the little labeling system I've got. Now, because there's 6 ingredients, but there's only 5 unique recipes, that means some of the switches are doubled for some of the objects. You can tell which ammos we can make based on the labels. So, the reason why we have dual switches, and the reason why we have dual switches is both inputs for the switches are linked together up there in the attic. Okay? So, the guy that originally created this design goes into detail on how this all works. Both of his videos I will link in the description. But basically, we have two switches that I need to combine into one output. Technically, you could use logic gates for this, but I've got no space for more logic gates. It's cumbersome, it's confusing. If you want to do it, if you can find a way to make it look pretty, go for it. But technically, we have a mutual exclusion gate system for logic. This is a manual logic gate. The gate that we're using for each switch combination is an OR gate. Deliver an output when at least one of the switches, the inputs, has power. So every single one of the 6 hoppers on the bottom, the wires in general, not necessarily the switches, at least one of them needs to be on in order to activate a hopper. So they're basically OR gates. They're basically OR gates. This is just a complex way of doing it. I don't really care right now. So, we have 2mm, we have 5mm at 5.56, we have 308, 44, 50 cal, 38, 45, 5mm, and 12 gauge shotgun. The Gauss rifle ammo requires oil. It's the only one that requires oil. Oil, lead, fertilizer, and copper. Both of which are going into that wire, this wire, this wire, this wire, which are then going into that pin, that pin, that pin, and that pin. Okay. I hope you can see the spider web a little better. So again, top left to right, oil, lead, copper, fertilizer, steel, plastic. And so these switches are combinations of those items. 10mm 5.56 only need lead and fertilizer, which are these 2 wires right here. And then that's the input from the power grid. That's those lines right there. 308 minus that wire requires lead, copper, and fertilizer. 38, 45, and 5mm require steel and fertilizer, which is that wire and that wire. 12 gauge shotgun requires lead, fertilizer, and plastic. The only ammo to require plastic in the vanilla, fertilizer line, and lead. You can trace the lines back to the pegs if you want to. Now, with that explained, we can go up here. So we have the rear peg, which connects the bottom switch to the top switch, which is our OR gate. So these back pegs are for the OR gate connection. And this is for the ammo combination selection switch. So this is your OR gate. This one and the bottom one connected together equals the OR gate. And then this is the input for the top switch. So we have, again, oil, lead, copper, fertilizer, steel, plastic. We're using pipes so they don't connect to each other. And obviously it's those top switches. It's those top, there's the 5 lines. And now they're going to split off at increments at designated intervals in order to bring the power all the way across the floor to power these. Plastic, steel, fertilizer, copper, lead, and oil, which then allows power to hook up to the individual hoppers. Make sense? Yeah. Now, that covers the grid, right? So, real quick, before anybody gets confused, for the OR gate system, these are your bottom switches that are manually controlled, and then these are input number 2. So this is input 2, that's input 1. And I'll show you why we have 2 switches in a second. If either switch is on, they are then connected together to form the OR gate back here, which then says, it doesn't matter if it's the top switch or the bottom switch that's on, deliver power to the hopper. That's all that is. It's a logic gate. Now, why are there 2 sets of switches, David? The top switch is for your normal operation. It's for your ammo creation. You go to the computer, you pick which ammo you want to make, you come over here and you throw a switch corresponding to the ammo you want to create. Now, sometimes... Why is the 12 gauge not powered? Fuck. Yeah, close the freaking thing. Luckily there's nothing in the hoppers. Yeah, fixed it. Sometimes you want to open a hopper to craft something, but you don't want to open multiple hoppers. You just want to open 1 or 2. And the 1 or 2 you want to build, like let's say you wanted to start building stuff in the builder, and you wanted to build something that uses these components, but doesn't use all of the same components from the ammo switches. Like for instance, like let's say you want to bring all your copper out of your hopper so that you can build something else with it. You can come over here, you can open the copper hopper separate from the ammo, and there's the copper hopper. Now, there's nothing in these hoppers right now, so I can demonstrate this, but right now, copper would be falling out of that hopper onto this conveyor belt. You'd come over here and you'd grab all your copper. If you were needing the resources to craft something else, or if you were trying to build Vault-Tec lunchboxes, you would come over here, you would open your steel, you would open the steel hopper, then you would go to the computer, go to the builder settings and select Vault-Tec lunchbox, and then you would then throw the diverter, and now you're building Vault-Tec lunchboxes. That's why there's 2 switches, and that's why they are OR switches, not AND switches. Okay. I hope that covers all of the wiring. Again, we'll build it step by step in a little bit, if OBS still is working. It's going to be a long-ass video. And because I can't pay for Adobe Premiere, I can't chop this up in little bitty pieces and make a smaller video. That's why it's this one huge long... That's why all of my videos on my YouTube channel are all one big long collages. It's because I can't trim them. I can't cut them, I can't trim them, I can't jump cut them, nothing. Because I don't have enough money devoted into this system, the internet, in order to justify being able to spend hundreds of dollars a year to buy Adobe Premiere and Photoshop. I don't have a big following on YouTube or Twitch. There's other reasons that cooperate that, but I'm not complaining. Not complaining. But because of that, I can't snip up videos and make them streamlined. Okay. That covers the entire factory. Now, so the outputs. Last but not least, so this is from the main wall, the main grid. So we have the sorter system, or we have the conveyor sorter, which goes through that line to that line and powers that light over there, which then powers the sorting line all the way over there. Grid number 2 is not hooked up to its final location yet because it's for the tripwire, for the laser tripwire. Level 3, I believe, is the purge line. Yep. Oh. No. Oh, level 3 is the ammo plant. Goes to this, the light that's currently on, which goes down to the ammo plant and the builder. Wire 4 goes to the purge line, and wire 5 is for the diverter. For the builder. So those are all 4 outputs for the main grid. That is the electrical grid complete. Now, let's build the thing. Okay. This is going to take a while, because we're going to build it block for block. Now, I don't care how you cheat in this game. I'll show you what I'm currently doing. I've got the carry weight ring on just for this tutorial, and I have looted all of the scrap from the cheat room in order to have all the resources to build this. Yeah. So, we're building it out of factory material because why not? Yeah. The foundation, the width of the building is 7 by 9. So, we're going to go to the back wall here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is one of those moments where the YouTuber would jump cut, but again, we're doing it live because I don't have Adobe Premiere. I used to use my earliest videos on the channel. We had Windows Movie Maker, but Microsoft has killed the support for that, and it was also a Windows 7 only exclusion program that no longer works on Windows 10. Because now any kind of editing software for anything that you care about, that's going to have to be a problem. Requires money. I have a big problem with companies that want you to pay for things that normally I shouldn't have to pay for. Okay. So, we have a 7 by 9 grid. And now, before we get too further along, I'm going to bring the power down here. From our settlement. And we're going to bring the power to right here. Okay? There's a straight wall. Okay. So, back to warehouse, walls. I'm using the clean warehouses on the Xbox from Deglut, because why the heck not? And then we got the rolling metal door. Now, I had a switch inside. You can put a switch if you want to, but because it's already got... I guess they updated it to have both... No, they didn't, actually. Never mind. I'm insane. No, we're not going to hook it up. We'll come back to that in a second. So you're going to want... Yep. So you're going to want a wall. You're going to want the industrial door. All this is vanilla parts, by the way, too. It just, the texture looks smoother because of the mod itself. Wall, window, door, wall, window. Okay. Whatever. I'm not gonna make it look pretty. We're just gonna get the bare bones thing set up. Alright, we're gonna power this up. Okay. Now, if OBS can keep up with me, here we go. From the industrial door, your first conveyor belt line wants to line up with this line right here. That's why we're using the concrete. That's why we're using the factory build. So, you're gonna want to go to power, manufacturing. First thing you're going to want to put down is conveyor storage. Now, this build isn't super particular. It isn't frame perfect, but the straighter that you can make these conveyor belt lines, the smoother the factory works. Okay. So we are going to line up this conveyor storage with this line right here, with the feet, and we're going to line these feet up with that line. And it's almost completely straight, but basically you're going to want to get it as straight as possible. And you want at least you want to be able to walk behind the storage to get in and out of the building. Okay. Now we're going to need the vacuum hopper. Alright, real quick, let me run over here, find out how we're lined up. Oh, okay, that's how we're lined up. No, I don't want you. Yeah, okay, we're lined up like that. Okay. Okay. So once again, we're going to try to line this up as straight as we can. It's pretty straight. Then we're going to come to the center of mass, and we're going to back it up to the hopper, and we're just going to put it just about halfway. Halfway between the front and the back of the conveyor storage. Yep. Then you're going to want the double straight piece. Now, if your measurements, if your spacing is correct, all of this stuff should just snap, 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 snap. You don't have to do any micromanaging. So, there's the normal left turn conveyor lift. You can use a high-speed one if you want, but I'm using vanilla parts to help people. Then we're going to use a component sorter, not a not a junk sorter. So we have oil, lead, copper, fertilizer, steel, plastic. Yep. Then we're going to go get the hopper. Now, you want to keep using left trigger until you get this arrangement right here. The earliest snap point far to the right of the thingamabob. And you're going to do the same thing for the first 5 hoppers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of them are snapping in relation to each other and in relation to the component sorters upstairs. Now, this one needs to turn at a 90-degree angle toward us. Okay. There's the turn. And then this last one needs to face us at the earliest snap point. There we go. Okay. There's all the hoppers. Six component sorters, 7 hoppers, and the last hopper in the straight line needs to turn left. Okay. Now we're gonna do the easy part real quick, and we're just gonna hook up a simple conveyor system like this. So you have the input, you have the input 1, and then just a normal conveyor storage. Then we're going to link this conveyor belt to this hopper, and we're going to link this hopper to the plastic sorter. So that anytime the sorting system is on, it'll open this hopper, power this conveyor belt, and put all the dump items in here so they're not being stored on a pile on the floor. That's the easy part. Here comes the more interesting intermediate part. You're going to want the left turn conveyor belt. And you're going to want to put it underneath this so that it lines up with everything down here. This is the hard part because this line is long. If this corner is out of position, some items are going to fall on the floor. So you need to make sure this right angle is absolutely perfect on par. So I'm just picking it up and nudging it to try to get that perfect angle to where the left-hand side of the hopper edge on the top of the screen lines up with the bottom edge of the conveyor belt. If this is off, you risk dropping stuff on the floor. Now, you'll know it's out of position when you start lobbing this stuff in and you go to this other end over here and it's not straight. Nice. Yeah. Now, you're going to want a double long. You want a straight piece. Then you want another left turn. Oh, they're making another left turn. Okay. Then we're going to go into a straight piece. Then we're going to go left branch. I'm going to go ahead and grab a small piece for this and another long. I'll put that over there. Then we're going to grab a builder and we're going to put it on the far left branch. And then we're going to grab the ammunition plant and we're going to snap it in the straight piece. Then we're going to go find the left diverter. Put it right there. Then we're going to grab the tiny piece. And we're going to snap it to the ammo plant. Then we're going to grab 2 conveyor storages, there and there. The production line is complete. The sorter and the producer. Now we need the vacuum hopper. from the conveyor storage, this is why both of these corners need to be perfect. Because if this isn't right, this shit's not going to line up. There's the vacuum hopper. I'll put that over there for a second. Give me the mini piece. Then give me the left turn. Yeah. Take out the straight. Put in the mini, and then give me the left turn. Nope. Damn it. Okay, give me another mini piece. Then give me the left turn. Yes. Okay. So it's conveyor storage, 2 minis, a left turn, and then this should perfectly snap right there, and it should be close. It should be close enough to the ammo plant for it to function. Now, if you wanted that, if that's not close enough, you can actually grab the conveyor belt and the conveyor storage line and scoot it over just a little bit. But basically, that's supposed to line up perfectly. So leave yourself some room. So if you have to come in here later and move the hopper closer to the ammo plant for the suction aspect, you have room to do that. Okay. So that's the bare bones of it. Now we need to hook up the power and hook up everything else. Okay. So right now we're going to build the command room. And then put in that, and then give me the 2 wall pieces for the corner. And then you can either do wall pieces or window pieces all the way down. I'm not going to do it because we already have an ugly wall in front of us. Okay. Now, real quick. Oh, wait, no. It's not that one, is it? Why is this out of position? Oh, it's because this is too far to the left. We're bringing this back so that I can walk. There we go. Because what we're about to do is this. We're building the walls for the office. And in order for the office walls to snap to the foundations, there can't be any thing over here. So in order for these walls right here to snap the foundation the way I want them to, you have to build it like this and then replace the floor like what we're about to do. Okay. And then we're going to snap the floor back in. Just snapping the floor back in. Another door for the office. And then snap the floor back in. And because we have electrical coming in from this wall, this entire side is going to be just flat wall. There's the main entrance to the factory. There's the main window section. Yeah. Now this office space is bigger than the guy's tutorial, the guy's video that I'm currently doing in my head. But, you know, we're good. Yeah. Alright, so main power. Before we get too far along. You want a conductor? You're going to want this bad boy. Wall pass-through. Which allows us to have an input right here. Which will give us access to the main grid. And then what I like to do is I like to put a light up here to show that we actually have power coming in for the grid. And then we have the output. And then this wire is going to go into the office. Again, I like doing light into conduit, because it adds a little bit of light stuff to the thing. Okay. Lights and switches. Give me an outside thingamabobby. And then give me a lever. We're going to do the trick where I can power there. So now you can open and close the factory from the inside. Yeah, so that switch has, that door has power. Then we're going to get another wall pass-through conduit. Because the wires and electricity doesn't like going through solid objects. So we're going to have this conduit, and we're going to set up that master switch I was talking about, the master breaker, which is this little guy right here. Then we're going to have an output. And then once again, I'm going to put the little light in here to show that we actually have power. Hook the master switch to the existing grid. We have power. And then we're going to have a conduit that I want up in the air. Try to get it in place. And then we can delete this right here. There. And then link that to that. And now we can go on with the build. Okay. We're going to need a way to get upstairs. So let's go ahead and build the floor for the second floor. And because this is just the office space, we don't need it to be pretty. We don't need to see what's going on. we'll use the other see-through floor for when we're out actually on the line, so we can see where the items are getting snagged up. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to grab a ladder, or a stair, sorry. We're going to snap it to this left-hand side, so I have more room to work on. Then we'll use these half pieces to cover up the floor, to cover up the holes. That gives us access to the roof. Then I'm going to go to concrete. And then we're going to grab these railings, and we'll protect ourselves from an OSHA violation. Makes sense. So let's go ahead and finish out the floor for the roof. It's actually kind of critical. Now, on the, like I said, on the production floor, we're going to go with these guys, because you're going to want to look down and see where you have problems in your plant. Right now, I'm just trying to fill the gaps in. So that we can come up here later. Wait, can I put a full corner here? Yeah, I can. Thank you. Alright, now we need to save ourselves from an OSHA violation. Okay. And then now we need to cut out a hole here. And yeah, I guess here, I assume. And the reason why is we need to put a second layer of stairs to get up or down, as it were. Yeah, we'll put it over there. And then we're going to need a special little pop setup where we need to be able to get across this production line. Because both stairs are on this side of that purge line, and we want to be able to get over it. So we just need a little bitty bridge across. Like that. Just to get over. And your head actually goes into this freaking floor piece, which is why you had to cut away the floor. Now we need to replace the floor. And then we need to protect ourselves from an OSHA violation. Not like that. Alright, so that protects... That lets us get access over and under. Up, not quite. It allows us to get over and under, thank you. The whole purpose of that. In order to access, we have 2 stairs up and then 1 stair across. Okay. Because we're going to need these stairs in order to hook up all the wires. Okay. Back to the main grid. Power. Conduit. Long piece. Which then is... Are you freaking kidding me? I knew I should have splayed it out a little more. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm stupid. Hang on. That's what happened. All right, we'll use the floor this time. You can wire this freaking however you want to. But basically the objective is to get the electricity. The point is to get the electricity into this room, this area, the middle of this room. Okay, so there's the main grid. Which is going to require us to put something up here. and somehow to bring it over here. Okay. Now the good stuff. Okay. So, upstairs and in this corner, conduit. So there's different lengths. So you have normal wall height, or you have short wall, short pipe, and you have long pipe. You want the long pipe without the pass-through. And these are for the 6 hoppers. So you're going to want 1, 2, then try to get these as straight as possible. 4, 5, 6. It doesn't matter that we spawned the other one, doesn't matter. We're just gonna delete the... we can delete that. Okay. Then you're gonna put double long... you're gonna put the super long pipes on. Okay. Then you're gonna come into here. You're going to go to the far right, and you're going to grab this one. You're going to grab this guy, the upside down 2-lane. This is for the OR gate for the switches. Dang, they're crooked. Of course they are. Because I can't make straight pipes to save my life. I'm not going to worry about it. As long as it's mostly straight. If the concrete wall downstairs is crooked, it doesn't matter. So there's your OR gate input, and then there's your primary switch input for the ammo. Okay. Now, directly underneath those, we need the reversal. Need these guys. This is for the, is that the straight line? That's the straight line. Okay. Okay. Actually, we can leave those because that's exactly what we need. Is that setup right there. Now, to set up the OR gate, so we have input number 2, and then we have the conduits. These conduits right here is input number 1, this first row. So there's input 1 for the ammo selection, and then the individual switches for the hoppers is input 2. To link up the OR gate, we take the rear, and we put it on the rear of that one. And you're just going to go straight up. Oil, lead, copper, fertilizer, steel, plastic. That's the OR gate hooked up. Without the switches, that's your OR gate. Your input 1 is the first row, and your input 2 is the second row. Now, we need to put a wall up. David, you can't put a wall over conduits. You sure about that? Funny. Ah, it lined up perfectly. Let's go. The wall's not going to be at a perfect 90-degree angle perpendicular to the other walls, but that works. Now we're going to shore it up by moving it just a little bit right here. Okay. Now we need to make this wall look better. Power, controllers and switches. We need a primary and a main power grid. Then we need the 6 switches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I believe there is 5 switches for the top row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to hook all the switches to the closest conduit wire. And we're going to bring that up just a hair. This is the power coming from the logic gates. Now you're going to log all the switches to their corresponding hopper conduit or gate. Then we're going to use the same power to send power to all of the switches. Because without the switch, without power, the switch is useless. So it needs to get power first. And then you're going to flip all the switches to off to prepare the electrical grid to receive power from the main grid. Okay. Now, we are going to... OBS is still good, thank you. Appreciate it. Now, while I have everybody's attention, we're going to go ahead and do this. Gauss rifle ammo requires oil, lead, fertilizer, and copper. So, oil. So there's our input for the OR gate. Oil. Lead, copper, and fertilizer. Okay. Come on, world. Okay. Shotgun requires lead, fertilizer, and plastic. Plastic is number 6. Lead is number 2. And fertilizer is number 4. So the Gauss rifle and the 12-gauge shotgun are all hooked up. 38, 45, and 5mm require fertilizer and steel. Steel is number 5, fertilizer is number 4. This one's done. 308, 44 mag, and 50 cal require copper, lead, fertilizer. Copper is number 3, lead is 2, fertilizer is 4. The very last switch, 10mm 5.56, require just lead and fertilizer. 2 and 4. That's all the ammo hooked up. It's not hooked up. We can't run the plant yet because we're not actually connected to the grid, but that's the complex hopper wiring complete. All right. Now to hook up the second wall panel, which is going to have to be... Yeah, it's going to have to be right here. Okay, so it's right there. All right, so it's right here. Okay. Conduit. Now we're going to want... So we've already used the really tall conduit pipes for the hoppers, and we have to run lines directly underneath them, so we have to use the shorter pipes this time. The shorter conduit wall pipes. Okay. So now we need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's more or less in a straight line. Then we're going to get the bottom peg. We're going to punch the hole through the floor. Then we're going to get the small corner. Actually, that's where that should have been. This should have been a 1/2 and a 1/4 in order to make that. There we go. So we have the hopper switches up top. Then we have the actual factory lines, the factory power grid lines on these shorter ones. Okay. So the first thing we're going to need is we're going to need to power that diverter. So we're going to need a top peg and a bottom peg. And they're literally going to go like right here. So there's a top peg, we need a bottom peg. There's that. This one's going to need an overhead one. The purge line is going to be right here. So we need a top peg and a bottom peg. Then we need a top peg and a bottom peg for the tripwire. And then we need a top peg and a bottom peg for the sorter. So there's the sorter, there's the tripwire, there's the purge line, there's the diverter, and this is going to be our ammo plant. Get all the conduits going in the right direction here. Big pole, double big pole, half pole, quarter pole, small corner, large pole, half pole into the large turn. What was that? Did a supersonic jet just go over my head? Bro. Need a half piece. Yep. And then the left corner. Need the quarter piece. The big left turn. Small right turn. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is to get all of these wires going this way. Okay. Alright. This one's already here. Yeah, there it is. So then we're going to do our traditional. We're going to do the light and the bottom peg. Bottom peg goes to there, and then we'll hook that up to the diverter in a second. Then we're going to get the big pole, big conduit. Do a half. We'll do the right angle. Then we'll do a half. Then we're going to do the traditional light and single peg. And in fact, I'm going to put the peg on the left-hand side so that it's directly over the ammo plant. And I can hook directly into the grid right here. Okay. So that's switch number 5. That's switch number 4. Make sure you keep track of it. Again, we're going to bring the line straight across. These two are going to keep going. This one's going to stop right here. Again, light and single peg. Single peg goes into the floor peg. And again, bring these forward. This one's going to go to a half, which is then going to go into corner. And then that one's going to go right there. And right there. Alright. Then I can build both of these at the exact same time. Light. Light. Single peg. Single peg. Peg to the floor. Peg to the floor. Okay. Now we're going to go downstairs and wire each line to its designated ceiling peg, which is, there's the purge line. There's the sorter. The ammo and the ammos and builder are already linked up. And the conveyor belt and the diverter. Okay, now all that's left is to finish the main grid and to put the laser tripwire in place. How we doing? Unbelievable. Concrete wall. We're gonna have two walls, so we have the logic gate wall and the regular wall. Get that out of my way. All right. Conduit switches. Alright. Let's get... Alright, so main power into here. Main power coming into the line. Main power going into the sorter. Main power going into the diverter. Main power going to the computer. Turn off the diverter. Turn off the sorter. First logic gate is an AND gate. We're going to take power from the sorter switch and power from the main grid. That is going to power the purge line. We're going to turn the purge line off. Okay. Now we're going to build the logic gate. So we need a NOT on both sides. We need a NOR. We need an XNOR and an XOR. So XNOR and XOR. Okay. Ammo plant into the main grid, or into the argument. Ammo plant is going to go into the NOT gate for the purge line. And the purge line is going to go into the NOT gate for the ammo plant. Then we're going to go output for NOT into NOR. Output for NOR into XNOR. Output for XNOR into XOR. Output for XOR into this conduit. Okay. Same thing for the other side. Output for NOT into NOR. Output of NOR into XNOR. XNOR output into XOR output. XOR output into conduit. To complete the trifecta for the weapon plant, we also need the weapon plant switch to activate at 2 distinct locations. XNOR and XOR. Weapon plant side is done. Bring that over just a little bit. Same thing for the purge line. Take the argument to XNOR and to XOR. Logic gates are done. Okay. Want to know how that works? See the previous video. Both systems are ready to go. Now we just need to find out which one of those top pegs is the corresponding system. And then the purge line needs to go into the... needs to be put in range of the purge line argument conduit. So everything works now, so now we can test it. Power the ammo plant. The ammo plant is on the left. On the bottom, this bottom peg on both sides is the output. So, weapon is on, purge is off. If both switches are on, both outputs, both arguments are activated at the same time, and both outputs are turned off, bottom left-hand corner on both sides. And if we turn off the ammo plant side turns off, and the purge line side turns on. Again, both switches, both outputs are off. One of the switches is on, one of the outputs is on, and the other one is off. Which is exactly what we want. Now, we need to go upstairs and find out which conduit side is which. The sorting system is this line right here, which is conduit number 1. Which is that first peg. So we take the conveyor belt, the sorting system output, and I need to make it to go there. But we're having a problem with distance or Z fighting. There. So the sorter is now on. Which means that's on. Which means all of this is on. Which means that hopper is open, that conveyor belt's on, and everything, all the leftover stuff goes in there. That's perfect. Alright, so that means the diverter... Oh, so the tripwire is... Wait. The tripwire is 2. Okay, so the tripwire is 2. The purge line is number 3, and the ammo plant is 4. So the purge line is 3, which is this one. Purge line goes into 3. And the ammo plant goes into 4. And the hoppers need to go into 4 as well. Because now the ammo plant is on, the purge line is off. Now, the hopper switches are now activated only after the ammo plant is on. And the ammo plant can't be on with the purge line on and the sorting system has to be on in order for the ammo plant to work. So, and the ammo plant needs to be worked, and therefore the lower conveyor belt needs to be on before the hoppers can ever be open. So, this is a mutually exclusive process. Hopper switches rely on the ammo plant, which relies on the sorting system. Perfect. And it requires the purge to be off. Now, the factory is hooked up, for the most part. The last thing we need to do is we need to wire up the what was it? The tripwire is number 2, and the diverter. So there's the diverter. There, see, the diverter works. Going left, and it goes straight. Perfect. And so line number 2, behind the wonderful workshop, there we go. So there's line number 2. Then line number 2 needs to come all the way over here. Line number 2 is for the laser tripwire. So we're going to need the computer. Need the computer terminal. Going to need a master switch. And then we're going to use something really cool. We're going to use a power counter. We're going to use 2 of them. This is our little countdown timer that it will count how many boxes are being produced by the ammo plant. This is how this works. Now, in order to finish the build, I need to make a quick pit stop somewhere. I need to run over to the cheat room and grab 2 fusion cell ammos. This is one of those jump cuts, but I don't have the ability to do that, so it should only take me like a couple seconds. There we go. Do everything normally. You've completed the main quest for the G18. I would like the G18 to be added to the game. Add it fully to the level lists. Players level 5 and enemies plus 25. Would you like legendary spawns? Requires level 30. Yes. Yep. We added the Mark 18 as the replacer for the laser rifle. Yeah. Fusion cells. Nope, 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 nope. There it is. Better tomorrow. Yeah. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. You can fix that later if you want to. Alright. Laser tripwire. Manufacturing. Conveyor belts. All the way to the right. Okay. All right. Oh, it's not receiving power from the main grid. Oh, that's right. Okay. That's what this wire's. That's what this wire was for. There it goes. Okay. Now we're connected to the grid. That's the wrong computer, David. Whatever. We'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, thank you. Power counter. Set it to 9. Builder, set it to vault lunchboxes. And the ammo plant, we'll set it to 10 millimeter. Lead and fertilizer. Actually, no. Who wanted steel? 308. No, that's copper. Wait, 308. Oh, 38. Sorry. 38 requires steel. Something that requires steel so I can demonstrate this. Steel fertilizer. Go. Okay. Steel fertilizer. Okay. Everything's already ready to go. Everything's already working. Now I just need to add steel and fertilizer to the bins. Steel. Plastic. Plastic, steel, fertilizer. Copper. Lead. And oil. Okay. The factory is now ready to be operated. Now you can put junk into the system and it will still sort based on the components. So you don't have to you can use shipments, you can use the raw resources, or you can put the junk just straight up in the box. Because we're using component sorters, not physical item sorters. It also means that I need one of each to put in the sorter. This was plastic. One plastic. This was steel. Fertilizer. Copper. Lead. Oil. Almost ready. Now I have to put the filter component into each of the sorters. Okay. Oil. Lead. Copper. Fertilizer. Steel. And plastic. Okay. We are now fully ready to build ammo. We already have main power. The diverter is off. The purge line is off. The sorter system is on. The ammo plant is on. The logic gates are prepped. The hopper switches have power. And the 38 ammunition hopper switches are pulled. Oh, wait. That's right. That's right. That's right. We never finished the hoppers. My goodness. I have to pull the ammo back out. Yeah, steel, copper, rubber. Yep. Steel and copper. Thank you. We were so close too, dude. So close, yet so far. Come on. All you do is just carry the conduit line all the way to the hoppers. Okay. Same thing as before. We're going to do a light on each one. And then this is the only one, the oil one, is not quite long enough to reach the hopper thingamabob. So you just need to want to put just a little bitty pipe on the end of this. Everything else will work just fine. Then you just put the little guy on the end. And then you take the little guy and you literally put it right into the hopper. Plastic, steel, fertilizer, copper, lead, and oil. And the reason why it won't go all the way through is the wire does not like doesn't want to clip through the this conveyor lift. So you have to give it a little more length in order to get up and around the conveyor lift. Now we are almost done. Now I've got to put the copper and the steel back into the assembly line. Copper is 3. And steel is 5. Okay. All the ingredients are in. Finally, we're all wired up, ready to go. Steel and fertilizer are 4 and 5. This is the only switch that needs to get thrown. Steel and fertilizer are going to start falling out of the hoppers, and they're going to continue to flow as long as that switch is on for the hoppers. Okay. Now we're going to watch it in work, in progress. Once it has enough materials, it's going to start building ammo. And let's see if the counter system is actually working or not. Probably isn't. I think I know why it isn't. Okay. It's because I've got it wired at the same exact time. Of course, I need copper. Luckily, we don't need copper for this ammo. So basically, it's just going to keep flowing as long as that counter is going. Did that fix it? There it goes. There it goes. Perfect. So, I fixed it. I'll show you how to wire that up in a second. But basically, we're just going to wait for several boxes to be produced. And then, I think that's enough. That's enough ingredients, I think. So now we're going to turn off the hoppers, but the ammo plant is still running. So right now, one of two things can happen. Either you can let the ammo produce as much ammo as it's currently got stored up, or you can manually turn off the ammo plant immediately. All right, so so we have 130 rounds of ammo. So that's 140 rounds, but that's only 14 boxes. So this is only designed to count the amount of boxes, that are being produced. So now there are 10 in a box, there's 10 rounds in a box, and there's 16 boxes in here now. Okay, the conveyor belt is off. Now I'm going to turn off that. There we go. That way I have a direct line of sight to so I can select the switch, not the daggum wire. That's just the diverter. We don't need it right now. So now I've turned the ammo plant off. So now we can talk about how to wire the thingamabob. Okay. So we'll track it from the power. So main power comes in here. Oh no, it's coming in from the ammo plant. Never mind. Okay, all right. That works. That's fine. That's totally legit. Totally makes a lot more sense. It's way easier than I was trying to do. All right, that also means that switch still needs to be powered, though. Is it that switch that needs to be powered by this thing? Alright, so it's only... So, we made 16 boxes, but it only kept track of 12. Which is fine, because it wasn't completely set up for us for when we were ready to go. Okay, there we go. Alright. So we're going to bump it up to 16. Because that's how many boxes we actually were able to make. Okay. Okay. So, let's track it via the power. So, the laser tripwire is being fed power, because it's off right now. It's being power directly from the ammo plant. When the ammo plant's on, I want the laser tripwire on. While the laser tripwire is being powered, every time an item crosses its stream, it sends an on-off pulse through this wire, which then goes upstairs to our little setup into this line right here. Which is peg number 2. Peg number 2 comes in right there, and it sends its power back here straight to the counter. So this is the ones counter. In order to have a tens, you need to connect another counter next to it and bring this little wire across. And if you really wanted to, you can add a 100s. You can add a 100 spot to it. No, not this. Switches. And you would link it just like that. This is also something you could also set up if you wanted to do binary. You wanted to count up using binary. To have 8 of these connected up for a bit. Now, right now, by default, the power counter is set to 9. So, one counter, the one furthest to the right, is going to count up to 9, and then it's going to roll over to back to 0, and it's going to roll the one to the left up by 1. Just like in numbers. When the tens gets up to 9 and it rolls over, it'll roll the hundreds over. And thousands and millions, yada, yada, yada. You get the idea. Now, to count up in binary, aka, or to reset the line back to 0, we're going to change this number to 1. Okay. So, up until this point, the counter system has been counting up by 9. And then it's going to roll over, which it did for when it passed 10. The power counter is then linked on the far right to a computer, then to a switch. And the switch is being powered directly because the laser tripwire is off by this conduit linked to the main grid. Because when the laser tripwire is off, I still need to power these counters, so I can display so I can reset the switch. So now we're counting up by ones. So now we're going to roll up and turn it off. It'll roll the ones position to 0, and then it'll count up by 1 to the second column. Then we're going to turn it off. Then it's going to roll up to a binary, which is 1. Then we're going to turn it off. Then it's going to roll up another binary. And then it's going to roll up to the binary. Then it's going to go up to the next binary number. And then the next binary number, and when they're all ones, the next position is all zeros. You don't have to have the hundreds there if you don't want to. It requires you to push more switches, to flip that switch more in order to reset the line. I just did that to demonstrate. So we're never going to make more than 100 boxes of ammunition. So we only need 2 placeholders. Then you have to come back to the power counter and restore the counting timer to 9. And then you're back to normal. So now, laser tripwire is being powered because the switch is on from the computer, but it's elementary. I don't know if the... Doesn't matter. Yeah. Now, we've got stuff in the... we have resources in the ammo plant, so now we need to turn on the purge line. The purge line is going to empty everything out of the... empty everything slowly out of the ammo plant, and it's immediately going to pull everything back through the sorting system and put everything back into their proper hopper. take that ammo. So yeah, it's a slow process, but at least it's automated. And then you just come over here and grab all your ammunition. Now, we made 38 instead of 10mm because I wanted to demonstrate the so I'm going to manually pull out all the steel because I'm going to put the steel into the builder so I could demonstrate what it's like if you wanted to build Vault-Tec lunchboxes. Quick, let's build some Vault-Tec lunchboxes. Turn on the diverter, turn on the ammo plant, and therefore the builder, and then everything shuts off because I have 2 switches activated. Now we need to turn off the purge in order for the builder to start producing Vault-Tec lunchboxes. So what you could do, if you were going to do this at the same time, run both machines at the same time, what you would do is you would pick a recipe that required steel as part of the ammo type, which would be the 38, the 38, the 45, and the 50 cal ammo. You would load up the ammo plant first, then you would close the hopper switch for the ammo, and then you would open the steel and flip the diverter. So then you can run both machines, one's producing ammo, one's producing lunchboxes, and they could work simultaneously. Then when both machines have enough steel and other materials, you close the hopper switches and you just let them produce what they're going to produce. Hopper switches are all off. Ammo plant's off. Turn the purge line back on from the ammo plant and continually drain all the fertilizer back out of the ammo plant. The items are going to come up here. They're going to pass through. It's not nothing that. There. Here's the whoop. No, don't do that. There's the fertilizer box. Dude, allow me to jump, for fuck's sake. Then all the fertilizer gets sent into the hopper to be stored to be used later. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Now, obviously you can put a roof on this thing and bring up the walls and tidy it up a little bit. You can even use some of this dead space for like bedrooms or storage, multi-purpose areas, but I have literally covered all of it. Last thing we can do is I could drop off my 38 ammo that we just made. Let's say this stuff was scrap. It's going to come off the line, it's going to go into the hopper, and it's going to be immediately put into this sorter down here. And there needs to be a door right here, which will completely finish the build. and then there's your ammo. There's your junk that could not be used in the ammo plant. So you can just put all your junk in that first box, and the system will use all of what it can, and what it can't use, it's just going to end up in here. This is the trash bin. Turn that off, turn the sorter off, turn the diverter off, and shut down the main grid. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the ammo factory. Wow, 2 hours to build that. Holy crap. See, and this is what happens when I can't do jump cuts and I can't do post commentary and all this other kind of stuff. I appreciate anybody that stood around this long enough who likes this build. Again, all relative credits will be linked in the description. There are 2 gentlemen that I need to give credit to. I don't know their names